on. Perfect. We're on. What's up, fam? Welcome to Le Pre Show, where we test all of our technology because we have been doing this long enough to not trust this stuff.
You can never trust it.
No, you can't, man. You gotta have the back. My boy's dad used to say, he goes, "You have to have the backup for the backup for the backup," and
Así mismo.
that's legit. That's legit. One of the smartest men I knew, bro. He was one of those kind of like Emilio, like you can just take him anywhere and you know that like nothing's gonna go wrong because he's got
Right.
the backup for he kind of gets off of the idea of like trying to like save the day. You know what I mean? That type of deal.
Yeah.
Gotta definitely gotta love those people, bro, for sure. All right, let me text myself this link, and then I put that in the text message over here so we can let all of our fans know that La Reina de las Reinas is getting interviewed today. Since, oh my God, I actually want to find out when that was. I'm gonna do that right now. Search across.
What?
Episode 12, Love is Dance. I need the date on that.
Oh God.
March 20th. What are we in, June 2019? So a year before the pandemic. Well, actually, that wasn't that was, well, fuck, no, that was like 4 years ago, actually. Just kidding.
Oh shit.
That was a while ago.
That was 2019?
That was
Yeah.
March 20th, 2019. We went live. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All right, let me paste this here. Boom. Yes, I would like to track the link. Episode 106. All right. Boom. Save. Boom. Send message now. We are live on YouTube with Jeannette Fiallo now. Join the conversation. Bam. Sent. Perfect. Ready to go Fandango. Okay, so we're on here. I definitely don't want to slow this down, so let me get rid of all this stuff. And then we're ready to rock and roll. All right. So yeah, I got off the phone with Isaac. So we got that in November, and then we have the summit in November, and then we have the summit in January.
Perfect.
Wait, actually, do we have the date? Do we have the date for? Yeah, I do. The date for Billy Summit, so that doesn't conflict with the cruise.
Oh yeah. No.
Shoot, I actually do not have that date. Let me find that out right now. Do you know what their website is? Jesus.
I can't keep up. I think which one? The one in January?
Yeah.
It's the Salsa Championship. The Salsa Summit Championship, I think.
Oh God. Okay. salsasummit.com? No, that's Isaac's.
Okay.
The Salsa Championships. Is there some? Do they have something on Instagram or something? Or you're on your phone, right?
Yeah, I'm on phone.
World Salsa Championships. Okay. Atlanta, Georgia. No.
No, it's something else.
Wow.
I know the words championship and summit are in there somewhere, I think.
Oh God, I won't even be able to find this. I'm seeing World Salsa Summit, which that's Katie's thing. Bueno. All right. Well, I gotta find out. Actually, I'll just text him. Billy. He's actually pretty good with his phone. For the summit. Oh, I'm gonna actually just what is your website? Okay. All right. I'll ask him there. All right. Cool. So we got a little bit of margin on those. I definitely think that'll we'll have some space there for some people, because they're going to be doing the same thing, like newcomer, beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then we'll also have we'll be competing in the on one category. So that'll be good. I actually told him like, hey, like because they're creating casino categories, which is great, and I'm like, let's actually go back, like, let's take it back a notch, which I definitely think is a good idea, and yeah. And I told Isaac, I'm like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just feel like it'll be more fair. It'll be just more people within the division. It'll be an actual competition.
Right.
Timing
Definitely.
is the same, you know,
Right.
but
All right. So the Summit Championship, January 15th through the 22nd. And
oh, that's a
I
different.
think the cruise is right after that. So let
Oh
me
wow,
see.
it's not in January anymore.
What did I say? Oh, what did I say?
You said
February? No, it's in
February?
January. It's in January. I'm sorry.
Ah, okay. Okay, good.
Um, through the 22nd, and then this is, I believe, that weekend after. So let me look at the calendar here. January 21st through the 28th
Is the cruise
is the cruise. So that, I believe, we leave that Sunday
of the competition?
of the competition. So we're gonna have to make sure that we
Mm,
get all of
that,
our stuff in before then.
well, usually all the heats are on Sunday.
Are they really?
Hmm. Yeah,
Wow.
usually,
Okay.
unless they changed it or split it up. Maybe there's a specific one another day, but my understanding is they're mostly on Sunday.
Wow.
So we'll just have to look into that.
Yes, we will definitely have to look into that for sure. Okay. And it's saying until the 22nd, which is Monday. I mean, I guess because people are sleeping over, that's Sunday night or whatever. But yeah, it's
Yeah, they
thus.
may have a social that Sunday night until the next day.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right, we'll make that work. We'll make that work. All right. How was this thing last night? That was last night, right?
Yeah. Oh, it was great. It
Yeah.
was I went to different schools, came and performed. It was a great crowd. It was good. It was a good experience. We had a lot of fun. We were hanging out the whole time.
Good.
Um, yeah, it was a good turnout.
I genuinely made an honest effort. I definitely wanted to go. I had my jacket pressed, my shirt pressed, ready to go. And of course,
Yeah.
Emilio giving me a guilt trip. He's like, "Bro, you're at a birthday right now. Hello."
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I totally got guilt tripped into not going. I definitely wanted to
It's okay.
go. Supposedly Diana did like a little thing for, or maybe she didn't, like to feature like on one in Miami, on two in Miami, and then she was gonna do like an on for like a casino in Miami too. She's gonna do
Mm,
that also. She didn't. It's possible
mm,
she didn't do it because if I was gonna go, then she was gonna say, "Okay, we had all the styles here, whatever."
right.
But okay, all right, we'll get this thing started. Let me hide your face for just a little bit, and I'll do
Okay.
la introducción for all of our fans, all of our Jeannette Fiallo fans out there. All right, beautiful. All right, we on the countdown. On the countdown. Hey guys, for those of you that are hopping in the pre-show now, thank you guys. Love you all so much. Definitely during the show, if y'all can help us out, leave some comments, ask the beautiful Jeannette Fiallo some questions, etc., so on and so forth, and we'll get this show on the road. Son las 8 Eastern Standard Time. Hello, familia. Welcome back. We're here for episode 106, 106, with my personal favorite guest. I'm a little bit biased, though. She's a four-time world champion, co-owner of Salsa Kings, the director of our now famous women's program, Las Reinas de Salsa Kings, international performer, instructor, and just an amazing human being. For those of you that are fans, you already know. If you don't, follow her, Jeannette Fiallo, Las Reinas de Salsa Kings, and of course, our Instagram account and YouTube as well, Salsa Kings. So without further ado, we're going to go in and get this party started. But before we do, guys, go ahead and check out Miami Salsa Cruise. You already know January is when this is kicking off of 2024. It's the week of the 21st through the 28th, Sunday to Sunday, 8 days, 7 nights, an absolute blast. Live salsa music every single night. And of course, bring your friends and meet new ones while you're there as well. Bringing on La Jeannette, la reina de las reinas, Fiallo. What's up, homie?
Hello. What's up? What's up?
How you doing? Hi. Oh,
Exactly.
wait, hold on. What does that say? What does that say? What's that picture back there? Wake. No. The picture in the back.
Oh,
Wake up and
it says
make up. Yeah.
just
Okay.
wake up and make up. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. That's what's up. Of course, and you have your repping Las Reinas, of course. Yes, with the queen
Always.
with the queen's crown over there on the L. Yes.
Oh,
Beautiful. I love the design. I love the design. It's beautiful. Beautiful. And
thanks.
the white is clean,
Right?
smooth. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? For
I
sure. And
agree.
I
I
got
agree.
my dance shirts on. Like I got the casino mode on. You already know. You already know.
Yeah.
Represent. Cool. All right. So for those of you that don't know, we have all of our interviewees, all of our guests pick a topic that they are passionate about. We had Jeannette Fiallo on episode 12. Love is Dance. We actually looked that up in the pre-show that was 4 years ago already, which is wild.
Wow.
Wow. That's
How
crazy.
things have changed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. But definitely for the better. We grow. We evolve. We learn. Y pa'lante. Y pa'lante. So I'm sure Jeannette is going to unload all of that for you guys for sure as she's dropping the golden nuggets. But essentially, she wanted to discuss the, I guess the idea of a woman entrepreneur. Correct me if I'm wrong. In the Latin dance space, opportunities, struggles, challenges, awesomeness, not so awesomeness. Like there's, of course, pros and cons to everything. But definitely, let us know before we start there. For those that don't know who you are, starting from the beginning. I know that you were like coming out of the womb dancing already. I mean, we know that, like pirouetting on the way out, we already know. I mean, that's what would make sense for all of us that were taking the class for the first time. And we're like, oh my God, she was definitely pirouetting on the way out. For
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So go ahead, take the floor, please, by all means.
Okay, I guess the shortened version. So I started dancing when I was 7 years old. Basically, from when I was 7 all the way through high school, all the way through college, right? I've always been through performing arts schools. So within my academics, I always took dance. And I remember since I was 7 years old, I just fell in love with it immediately. And for a child to like be so passionate about something and to know like I want to do this for the rest of my life, like my parents saw it immediately and they supported it 100%, which was so awesome.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, honestly, I have to thank my parents because when I first started, like financially, they couldn't afford it, but they did their very best to take me to this dance studio besides my public school that I was going to. That's really where I took off in my dancing. But after the first year, my mom was like, "Hey, you have to pick one of like the 10 classes that I was taking." She was like, "We just can't afford it. So pick
Right.
whatever you like the best and we can make that work." And I was like, how am I going to pick just one? I love them all. Ballet, jazz, tap, hip hop. Like I want to do it all. It was like torture for me to try and pick one.
Wow.
And after my very first year after the recital, it was like the last routine and my dance instructor comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that there's a lady out in the audience that's been watching the whole show and she wants to grant you a scholarship to the studio, full ride
What?
up
Yo.
until you leave." And I was like, "What? So like I can take all the classes?" She goes, "You can take anything that you want. Everything is covered." I'm telling you, I was there from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every single day for since sixth grade until I graduated high school. I lived at that studio. Everything paid for. My costumes, my recital fees, my everything was like scholarship to me. So having that opportunity is what made me really dig into dance and consider it like as a career because I had the opportunity to really train it. So
That is amazing.
yeah.
That is,
So I love it.
yeah. So really quick, if I
And
may,
so,
like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just absolutely blown away. That's the first time I hear that. Um,
Oh, yeah. I guess I haven't shared that yet.
yeah, like that's Jeannette. Like, okay, so I just finished reading a book called Outliers. Absolutely amazing. Where basically it's explaining like the most talented people, the most like your Bill Gates, your Jeannette Fiallos, right? Basically, like there's something that okay. So for example, in the Bill Gates example, like he in like middle school had the one of the most advanced computer systems in his school in like the entire country. Like it just so happened to be it was his middle school, and then like he had like similar situation to what you said, like a group of moms that supported that school to fund this computer program. So he was there like coding in this brand new system back in 19 God knows what, there by himself. So basically what I'm saying is like it's basically saying yes, the talent is there, the hard work is there, but it's also kind of like this spiritual platform that's kind of just created for you. And apparently that's why I was so blown away when you said that, because things could have ended for you right there just
Absolutely.
because like literally.
Absolutely.
And this woman apparently sees you, she falls in love with you and just decides to carry you. Like that's
A
so beautiful.
random older lady that like wasn't even a part of the studio, like she was like acquaintance of someone, like it was just like a I just want to help this girl. I don't know who she is. I never met her before. Um Beautiful. And it's such a blessing because my dance classes during my academics, like during the day, were very toxic, like especially in high school.
Oh
I
shit,
did
yeah, I
not
feel
enjoy
that.
them at all. Like
Right.
like my
Right.
ballet teachers were like really toxic, so like I had like the during the day, like, oh, I can't wait to like go to my nighttime dance classes to really enjoy what I'm doing.
Nice.
Granted, I got amazing training from both. I learned a lot, but my studio is what I don't know, I feel like I discovered my own style and my own like passion for dance through that studio. So I'm forever grateful. Whenever I can go back home to Lakeland, I try and teach and stop by and support. Like to this day, I support all her stuff on her social media because it's just like because of that studio is where I'm at today. I feel like
Praise
it
God, man.
allowed me to, yeah. But anyways, I went off to college. I danced more, but college was a different time in my life, and I deviated from dance, and I dropped out, and I quit dancing for 2 years. I went through a lot of miscellaneous things in my life in my early 20s,
College
discovering
dropout.
myself.
That's me.
The most successful people are. No
Yeah.
shame, no
We go hard
shame.
in the paint. All
It's
right.
yeah. For a while back then, I was very ashamed of it. I felt like I failed. But in retrospect, like it all led me to where I'm at today, so I'm fine with it. But whatever. I quit for 2 years, and I really like I was deciding to just quit dance altogether in my life and pursue something completely different. Until I woke up one day and I was like, I'm so unhappy with my life and I miss dancing more than anything, and nothing else is going to make me feel as happy as that. So I need to make a change today. Otherwise, my life is just going to continue on this ordinary path that I know I was not destined for. So the most spontaneous thing of my entire life, I woke up, put my 2 weeks into my job, and I said, I'm moving to Miami. I'm gonna figure it out. Don't know where I'm gonna stay. I know nobody. My dad had lived in Miami, but like I didn't know anything. Didn't have connections. Didn't have jobs lined up. Like I was just like, I'm just gonna figure it out, and I did. I packed my car. I moved down, and literally within that first month, we know this story. I've told it so many times. I googled. I found Salsa Kings was the very first thing for dance auditions, and the rest is history. So joining Salsa Kings was my very first introduction into the Latin scene, and I got completely obsessed with it from the very beginning. Wanting to pursue more the classical dance side, and then getting into the Latin scene and being like, oh, this is not what I wanted, but I feel like this is what I was meant for. It was one of those
Wow.
moments like, okay. And so I allowed myself to like let go of like I guess the goals that I had in dance on that side of it, and be open to like this new world and see where it could take me. And honestly, I'm super happy that I did. There's way more opportunity within what I'm doing now compared to in the other styles of dance. It's so much more competitive. There's
Of course.
not that, if I really wanted to maybe, but I'm super happy where I'm at right now.
Oh no,
But
for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, you have such a considerable advantage because of your training. Um, to be able to bring in those strong foundations into your bachata and your salsa is literally is what is setting you apart. Like, aside from obviously that you can see your amazing personality through your dance, but at the end of the day, we're still technique is obviously extremely important when we're
I'm
talking
pointing my
about it.
toes, bitch.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's those
Yeah.
types of things is obviously why you're a four-time world champion. Like, okay, we don't, I mean, we can be unhumble, or we can state facts just for a second here. And that's amazing. And by all means, and that's all we've ever wanted to do. And I hope that you felt that. And as we continue to do that for others now, um,
Mhm.
yo, you love this thing? Let's go. It's going to take
Yeah.
work, and it's going to take
Yeah.
work, and it's going to take more work. But if you love this thing, then let's do this. Um,
Absolutely.
a beautiful story. That's absolutely amazing. So I guess, okay, so we fast forward to um, today, unless are there any key loops or any turns along the way, or it was basically like, well, I guess the day, what was it? Was it like right in the pandemic that you came on board as a
Yeah. So
co-owner? Yeah.
right. So 2015, I started as a student. Was there with Salsa Kings for a couple years. I left. I wanted to pursue bachata. So I went and did my own thing for a little bit. I left Salsa Kings. Loved you guys from far away, but tried to venture off. And then, life happened. 2020 hit, and the opportunity came, and that's when I came on board, which again has been the biggest blessing in my life. Again, during the pandemic was another one of those moments where it was like, okay, should I consider another career? Like, is this whole dance thing like really gonna pay my bills at the end of the day? Like for the
Mm,
long run? Like it was a lot of doubt. It was really scary. And the studio, it was another sign that was like, no, like don't give up. Like this is another opportunity for you to use your passion to do something with your life. And I'm just glad that everything worked out the way it did.
amen. Amen. There's no. I mean, I don't have to tell you the amazing contributions that you've brought, obviously, to the team and to the organization, and to obviously to the students there. We got a Jeannette Fiallo fan club. We got a thumbs up right now as I'm saying that. Love you guys. Thank you for sure.
Yay.
So no,
Oh,
absolutely. So I mean, I could praise you all day long, but then that'll be that's another episode for another time.
appreciate you.
So
Appreciate you.
okay, so now we're, let's say, I guess you could take a little bit more present now. So blessings obviously land on our lap, and then a lot of responsibility, a lot of challenges come into play. I guess you could say, like, what would you probably say is the main one, maybe just in general, and then how does being a woman change that, either for the better or for the more difficult, etc.
Okay, so women go through so many different challenges on so many different levels, right, within this industry. No, like not only on a business level, on a personal level, and just not even on a professional level, even as like a social dancer. I feel like women go through a lot of difficulties, a lot of obstacles, a lot of uncomfortable situations that it isn't talked about enough, I believe. Um,
Okay.
and
I
so where
loved
do
that video that you put out. I think you were just doing your makeup or something, and you were just like, I don't like it when. Number one,
yeah,
like, yo, legit, like, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. Go.
absolutely.
Bye.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Like, I feel like we need to talk about it more. I always like to give the benefit of the doubt. I always like to just believe the best in people. And so I like to believe that some people just don't know most of dance etiquette, and so it's important for us to share. But then sometimes I feel like, things are intentional. So as women, we need to find the power to not only voice it, but to stop certain things that we don't like, you know? And so again, like I said, that's within the social dancing, within the business aspect of it. It's just it's in every area of our lives. And I felt it the most in leadership. You know, I've seen it the most, and you know, I've been doing this for the past 8 years now that I've been in the Latin dance scene. So I've experienced it from being a student, from being a professional, and again, from just simply going out and having a good time going through uncomfortable situations. So
Is
where do you want me
this
to begin?
yeah, is this exclusively basically saying like just is it men just being inappropriate, or is there more to it? Because it could be just that and I could completely understand.
Okay, so this is definitely not going to be like a men's bashing interview. So I hope that people don't take it that way. But you know, I feel like we go through a lot of uncomfortable situations, and I'm going to explain a little bit more in detail in the different areas. But if it's uncomfortable to hear, only imagine what we feel during and experiencing these things, right? So
Boom,
regardless,
boom, boom, boom.
it's uncomfortable for the both of us. So deal with it, and you know, be better, learn from it, and maybe share the knowledge so that it just doesn't keep happening, right? So I guess we can start with social dancing. What some women go through, and unfortunately, I know a lot of females have had negative experiences within their social dancing that has made them not want to go back out to dance. They've quit dancing altogether because they just don't want to go through that again. And that's so unfortunate because dancing is so fun, and social dancing is
Right.
such an amazing way to release yourself and to connect and to allow those situations to not make you want to go is
Right.
like, you know,
Yeah,
so
it's extremely unfortunate. Absolutely. Would you say that creating? I mean, obviously we talk about it in our classes, right? The idea of the safe space and the boundaries. Like, is that okay? A better question. And this is kind of black and white, so forgive me. Um, if there's enough training, if leaders like ourselves, if we're able to teach and train safe space well enough, is it possible for a guy to go too far without the woman noticing and taking action, or at least him not even being able to, if that's solidified well enough? Is that possible?
is it possible for a guy to, I'm sorry, I don't
to
understand the
go
question.
to go too Is it possible for a guy to go too far if a woman has her safe space, I guess, I don't know, say strong enough, but clear enough, perhaps?
Yes. Okay. So I understand the question now. So, as a follow, as a female, we set what we're comfortable with, right? So our bubble. We
Right.
dictate how close, how far we want to be. Um, we can dictate what we want to do, what we don't, right? So like if there's a certain movement or something that I don't feel comfortable doing, I don't want to do, I won't do it. I'll deviate from it. I'll go back to my basic, allow you to regroup and come back to try again to do something that I feel a little bit more comfortable with, right?
Right.
But although as a father we practice correct technique in doing that, there are still moments, unfortunately, where leads will um, cross those boundaries, whether they're placing their hands in places where they shouldn't be, they are emoting a type of energy that is just uncomfortable, period. um, a lot of times guys are strong and they forget their strength, and although we may practice our bubble, we can be overpowered depending on the certain movement that's happening, you know. And as a follow, we're so focused on following that we sometimes get into certain situations that by the time we're in them, it's done. And then afterwards, we're like, I didn't like that. I didn't
Right.
feel good in that. And it's too late, you
Right.
know? And it happens a lot more often than I like to admit. Happens to me a lot, but within my experience, I'm almost able to read it before it happens.
Right.
So I'm able to like veto it. But unfortunately, sometimes I can't. I can't avoid it.
Right.
And but what I do encourage is when it happens to me, whether my lead is being too rough with me, where it's a safety thing, right? He's hurting me, squeezing me too hard, whatever the case. If he's being too close, I will literally say something. Like if he's being too rough, I will be super nice. hey, can you please leave me a little bit lighter? One of two things happen. Either a lead is very receptive to it and they're super nice. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because they're unaware, right? Benefit of the doubt. He probably didn't mean to. Just let him know. He doesn't know. But then I've also experienced where guys get offended by it and their ego is like dying and they're like, oh, well, how you gonna tell me how? And it's like, okay, so as a female, now we're like, okay, do I say something? How is he gonna react? Is he gonna be a dick about it or is he gonna be cool? You know? So now it installs a little bit of fear of expressing that. So I was encouraged, express it. If he has an issue with it, okay, thank you so much for the dance. I'm done, you know?
Right.
And that's it. And just don't dance with him again. And it's as simple as that. But again, we just have to raise the awareness, vocalize it because they may not know. And if they don't know, they need to know, you
Right.
know?
Oh, absolutely. And I would be by you and I have had situations where I'm getting excited and I'm leading you too rough, and you've explained that to me. I'm like, oh my god, yes, okay, I'm so sorry. So
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
I'm okay. Here's another question. What would you say is the ratio between guys that are receptive versus guys that are not?
Um, I think the majority are receptive. And it's always, of course, how you're saying it.
Right.
If as a female, if we're rude about it, the guys could be like, okay, like, but if you come from a good place, I think the majority come from a good place as well. But unfortunately, there are a lot that, as nice as you can be, their
Right.
ego overpowers
Right. 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 Right.
everything.
Right. Right. And
But the good thing is most are, I feel like.
right. So yeah, I mean, you can't help people that don't want to be helped, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely err on the side of, we're all in this journey together, regardless of how long we've been doing this. There's obviously an infinite amount of people, amount of perceptions towards us, right? Um, Definitely. Ladies, for all of you that are listening to this, please, he wants to know. He wants to know so bad what you're thinking.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's bad. Please let him know. Tell him he's gonna fall in love with you because you're speaking the truth to him, and that's all he could ever ask for. Versus trying to read between the lines, like give it to him
Right.
straight. We're
Yeah.
men. We're not. We can't. We don't have that that
Yeah.
beautiful sense of womanness of just knowing things. Like
Uh,
we're sometimes, help us out. Help us out. So yes, I'm definitely on Team Jeannette there. Vocalize, speak up, because the
yeah.
majority appreciate it. Well, let me go as
Yeah.
far as that. The majority appreciate it. Um, I also feel that's a lot to do with instructors too. Not talking about it enough, right? It's our job as the leaders, or for those of you that are listening that are leaders, that maybe you're doing private lessons on the side or whatever, or you're just learning. Like, guys, please, definitely, like, make sure that you're delivering that message and to let the woman know that, yeah, okay, you're the co-pilot, but you're telling where the lead should be going. Like, and if it's
Mhm.
going in a place that you don't like you stop co-piloting. Like,
Yeah.
bruh, you by yourself. Like, I ain't helping you go down this route. So
And
so
and
thank you.
yeah, of course. And on a more of a professional level, again, I've been in this industry for long enough to know my peers, and I've just seen a lot, right? So I feel like there are a lot of artists, there are a lot of instructors, professional dancers that don't follow these good dance etiquette like
Mm,
rules, It stems from, like you said, the instructor. So if our leaders within our community, and I'm not saying all of them, okay, but the truth is there are quite a bit still
right.
that are inappropriate, that whatever, they have their ways. And so again, the more that we can voice it, the more that we can raise awareness. But ultimately it stems from our instructors. So
The
our instructors
leaders.
need to be better, our leaders, and our students are always watching, they're always trying to learn. And even like on a social level, you're being watched, right? So as a professional, like when I go social dancing, like now in my life, yes, it's for fun, but a part of it is work for me still because it's my
Absolutely.
reputation. It's my name. Yes, I'm having a good time, but like you won't see me popping bottles like I used to back in the day. Like, I really respect my work and my reputation and my name and how I dance with people. And that matters to me. And so I feel like more artists need to be reminded of that, that at the end of the day, this is your career as well, and you need to represent yourself a little bit better.
I mean, I, in I don't want to say in their defense because I don't condone this, but a lot of artists are not doing this full time either. So that has a lot
Mm,
to do with it because at the same time, at least in our case, right, this is our livelihood. Like there's now it's not if the dance income stopped for us versus for them, we would be radically more impacted, if that makes sense. It is
mhm.
more of just a side gig. It is more of just a fun thing. It's they don't have to necessarily care as much. They do. I said that wrong. They do have to care. They just path of least resistance is it's not going to be as consequential, if you would, um, to them. But absolutely, it's the awareness and it's the speaking up that's going to bring that awareness. Is okay. This is no longer cool or this is no longer accepted. Which
Mhm.
unfortunately, I think there's kind of like a stigma, behind the Latin dance night scene, and around the world. I would even say, there's obviously a lot of physical contact. You're obviously meeting a bunch of new people. It can, temptation can rise from both
Mhm.
parties. I've seen both sides.
Right.
So definitely, like I respect that, and ladies, please, like please, my God, um, represent yourself unapologetically. If he can't handle it, then you don't want to have another conversation with him.
Yeah.
Like he needs to get that from 3 women back to back, and maybe he'll. But until that happens,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, and then obviously we're doing our best. We're talking about it here, and for all of you listening,
Mhm.
thank you. But as long as we continue to do so, we continue to spread that awareness. We can do that. But let's move on from this topic. So other than that, what else? What else? I guess more maybe perhaps on the actual business side itself, or what else? What else do you
Sure.
think? Yeah.
Yeah. So on the business level of it, um, you know, uh, I've had some people come into the studio and, inquire about private lessons, and I see it's a female, and there'll be like a guy asking, like, oh, I want to do private lessons, but I want to be with a girl, but will she know how to teach me? Does she know the guy part? So as a female within this industry, there's a lot of doubt as to what value we can bring and how much we know and what we can provide. It's we're expected to not know as much as the lead because we follow. So I'm seeing a lot more females learning how to lead, and it makes me so happy because, to be honest with you, some of my favorite leads today are all females.
Oh yeah.
Females
Y'all be
know
killing
they're
it.
intuitive. We're intuitive with each other, with ourselves. We know what we like, we know what we don't like. We're aware,
A
and
smooth,
that is
as
what
smooth.
matters. We're smooth. There's an awareness, right? We can read each other, and that's what's lacking sometimes. I feel that you can see the moment that someone is uncomfortable with something. You can see that. So, anyways, having that doubt is always a little bit of an obstacle. But it feels so good to like prove them wrong. To be a female and to know equally both follow and lead roles, the technique, be able to teach it well. It's definitely a flex, and I'm seeing more and more female instructors popping up within our scene, and it's super cool to see. There's just a level of safetiness. I don't know. There's a level of comfort that
Sure.
females typically bring, and it's nice. It's nice to see more ladies leading
If
the
I,
class.
for sure, if I may, to my gentlemen, uh, take note of that. It's the lady feels comfortable with another lady because she knows that she can read her, that she's paying attention to her. So
Mhm.
if gentlemen, if you're able to do the same thing, or at least start working on it, right? We're all bad at everything when we start. But if we take the humble approach and we begin to start taking classes, not to memorize new turn patterns, but to focus on our partner while we're doing that, and how smooth this can continue to be during the process, and pay attention to our follow as this is happening. Does she even like this, or am I selfishly doing this, right? Like, am I even asking myself that question? So absolutely. And again, I'm just throwing in my thing, but go, by all means, go on.
On another business aspect, so for my ladies wanting to pursue this on a more professional level, I have experienced a bunch of different situations within it, and there was a point in time where I was or had ended a previous partnership, and I had considered quitting again. Wow, it's so crazy. It's in my lowest. It's when I'm the most doubtful that my mind goes to, maybe this is not meant for me. Maybe I should just give up. And every single time I'm like, no, girl, get it together. Like, you got this. Like, there's nothing that you can't do if you don't set your mind to. And no matter what anybody tells you, because for me, in my personal experience, being told that you'll never be successful by yourself, you'll never be able to make it to all these different, goals that you want to do on your own, it's very discouraging, because a part of you is like, well, will people still want to hire me, just me? Like, will they really believe the value that I'm going to bring by myself? And this is at the time when I was considering being a solo artist, right? Leaving a partnership and going into just like, okay, let me focus on my solos. Let me provide just like lady classes. Let me learn how to lead. So going through that process was really scary. And, being convinced that like maybe you don't have all the connections, and that like that you don't know anybody, you're just not going to make it. It almost like, if you tell me I'm not going to do something, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to do
Yes,
it.
girl.
And
Yes, girl.
during those times, I might have not had the best connections. I might have not known these organizers that well, but I created those connections myself. I reached out myself, and I solidified those relationships for me. And as soon as I did that, the response I got immediately, like every single organizer at that time, when I was like, listen, this is the situation. I would love to still work for you. This is what I provide, but whatever. Every single one was like, oh, absolutely, we'll create a new contract for you. Like, we still want to work with you. And that to me was like a moment of, oh, no, girl, you have to go hard. Like, this is for you, and no one's going to stop you. So there was a moment before I started working with Roy that, I was doing my own thing. I had my own team. I was trying to figure everything out by myself, but, it wasn't easy, but it was so worth it, because it empowered me so much to truly believe in myself and believe that I can do this by myself. Now, granted, it's not a matter of doing it by yourself, because having my partner now, and then now, partnering you, Andres, and working with the business. Of course, it's we power each other. Like, the support system is amazing. You don't want to do things by yourself, but knowing that if you needed to, you can, is such a powerful feeling, that like, once you have that, no one can take that away from you. And whatever, I carry that with me. And obviously, I love where the situation I'm at now, but I'm proud of me because I got myself to that. So,
Amen.
ladies, if you're in that situation, like, ignore the doubt, go for it, because you can create those opportunities for yourself. And whoever is in line with you and your beliefs and your energy and everything, they will connect into your life. And that's it.
Bam! Bam! That right there. We're going to take that part and we're going to put that on Instagram. What you just said right there. You preach, girl. You preach. Yes. No, so good. Yeah. My gosh. Yo, that's not a message just for the ladies. That's for the men too. More for the ladies, obviously, because I definitely feel that. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, I'm not a woman here, but I think it's a little bit easier as a woman to doubt. I think society kind of puts you there, and like it's the man who's the, the strong one and the, can do it by himself type of deal. And to comment on both, first, we're scared of shit too. Just saying, like, completely. But ladies, regardless, you take your shot before you spread your wings, you jump out of your nest. Right before you hit the ground, that wind is gonna catch you and you're gonna fly, but you're never gonna know unless you take that shot. And there's so many people that say the same. Your big guys, your Tony Robbins, your Steve Harveys, your a lot of the great leaders, they say the same thing, but most just don't take the shot. But also, I have to give it to you because I do know a little bit about your backstory, is that you and I both have had to kind of like, we kind of didn't have a chance. Like we didn't have a choice but to go for it all or take a chance when we were younger. So it's almost, and we go back to the practice, right? Is I'm a little bit more comfortable with this situation. I've been here before, and I know that when I was like, I fought through it and I made it. So obviously, if I did it then, I could definitely do it now. I'm wiser, I'm stronger. That's obviously not what we're saying to ourselves in the moment, right? A lot of self-doubt and all that types of stuff. But absolutely proud of you. I know everyone watching is super proud of you too, homie. Go on, please.
And as far as like in dance partnerships, and this again is not even like a gender role. This could be either the female or the male that are experiencing this. This is completely neutral. But a lot of times within these dance partnerships, and I see it a lot, and again from personal experience, I've lived it. We tolerate a lot more than we need to because we're so focused on the big picture and the end goal that sometimes we lose sight of what's really important to us, our self-respect, our morals. There's just a lot that we allow to kind of like push aside within these partnerships for some reason. It's like, this is what I have and this is like the best it's gonna be, and I gotta like hold it together because I want to be this in the future. And it's like, it's not even worth it. We typically stay in these uncomfortable and like toxic situations for way longer than they need to, because again, we're fighting through it. We're trying to like get to the end goal. But honestly, if you're feeling so much resistance, if you're feeling drained, if it's more stress than it's bringing you power, it is not worth it. And
Can you say it again for me? Say it one more time. Say it again.
It is not worth it. It is not worth it. And I didn't fully understand that until I started working with my partner now, Roy. When I'm telling you, there has been one practice that I don't leave recharged. After a 6-hour practice, I'm recharged. I'm full, I'm happy, and I leave with the biggest smile on my face every single time. And that's been since day one of working with him. And we've been together now working for 3 years now. And there hasn't been a moment where we've been like, oh, maybe this isn't, no rocks, no bumps in the road. We have just aligned with each other on every single level of our partnership. So it's like, oh my God, this is possible. This is possible for everybody. Don't settle in shitty partnerships because it's not worth it at the end. Because in the moment you convince yourself, I can get through this. I can ignore the this and that, whatever. I'm not the happiest, but I'm going to get what I want. Cool. In the moment, you're fine. Future you is going to be dealing with the trauma of it and all the bad memories of it. And you're going to start resenting all those moments because you stuck around something that just didn't serve you,
Absolutely.
So,
and we go back to the beauty and the power in the awareness, in the focusing on your surroundings, breathing, being in the moment, realizing that you don't like where you're at, or the opposite, realizing that you do like where you're at, appreciating it, being grateful, and trying to capitalize on that. I think that's a big deal, because I think a lot of people try and ignore, I think ladies more than anybody, try and ignore the reality of things sometimes. I'm strong. I can work through it, and it's kind of like just swept under the rug. And of course, that never works out well. I wanted to.
or it's I'm so sorry, or it's like a really good opportunity and that's all they're focusing on and they don't think that another opportunity like that can come. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
there's a million other amazing opportunities. Don't get
Infinite.
stuck on the first thing. Yeah. Yeah. And that's just in
Literally
life
infinite.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh,
in
you know
every
me.
yeah.
I'm always
Yeah.
talking in
Yeah.
general. Natasha Barrera says, "Thank you, Jeannette, for speaking up."
Oh.
I'm gonna thank you for speaking up as well. I second that. I wanted to comment on your previous one really quick, which is a big deal, and I think that's very relatable to the topic today of Bachatera Boss, and I know that we do have to close out soon. Um, that you found you first. You established yourself. You did it all yourself. You created that sense of self so strong to where you are an individual piece all in yourself, all in your own. You're a team all by yourself. So that then now that you know what it is to do everything, you come as a valuable piece to a team. Another team being other people who are also strong in themselves, so you complement each other versus leaning on each other, if that makes sense. It's everyone is doing their own thing for the same mission, right? And I think that has a lot to do with, you know, the sense of leadership and the boss aspect. I think there's there's a lot of negative connotation around the word boss. There's been a lot of shift, especially in the women realm. Like a
Mhm.
boss is like an awesome, you know, a bad bitch, for lack of better words, right? And
We
which
prefer
is
queen,
right,
but
oh, right, that works too, you know. And a boss, a real boss in the positive sense, is one that is full, complete within themselves, that can lead others, help them find themselves also. And yeah, hopefully even, you know, join the team if you would, if you know, if they like everything that's going on in the growth. That I'm a personal believer that, you know, our life evolves through people.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and as we kind of attract others and obviously their gifts and who they are, we grow, right? Because essentially we share resources. It doesn't necessarily have to be financial, but you know, whether it's a conversation, you know, whether it's business, whether it's friendship, whatever it is, that's all adding value
Yeah.
to who we are essentially, right? Which is absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I do know that we do have to close out. Guys, if you are watching, by all means, send us drop a message in the comments, or go ahead and write us. Actually, you can write Jeannette specifically. Jeannette, JEANNETTE at salsakings.com. Go ahead and give her a shout. That's her email directly. Anything that you want to ask her, ladies, by 2015, I've known this woman for 8 years now. She has a heart of gold. She wants to help. She reps her women. She reps her queens. She is on Team Queen. She will step up to anybody that's not on Team Queen in the face, in the eye, real quick. Uh, so
Absolutely. Period.
yeah, yeah.
Period.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I respect that so much, and I know that a lot of men do as well. So thank you for that. Do you have any closing comments for your women, for those that are looking to do the same? Perhaps, you know, they wanna go ahead and they want to start a kizomba. You know, they want to start a tango. They want to start a ballet. You know, what would that entail? What nuggets would you be able to offer them?
The biggest thing I would say for ladies, just because another female is doing what you're doing does not make her your competition. Okay? There's
Ooh.
plenty of space for all of us to succeed, and the only way we're all going to succeed is if we support each other.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, the more we can empower each other, the more we empower ourselves, and the more we all rise together. But if we we doubt ourselves because of the competition that's out there, you're going to limit yourself, and it's bullshit. So support each other, and you're going to see how much more you grow in the process of lifting someone else up.
Bruh.
That's it.
Bruh. We're going to have to add that clip on
I
that
was
too.
ready today.
that was beautiful. Y'all ladies be savage sometimes. Savage against each other.
It's necessary sometimes.
Oh my God.
Yo, like in a bad way?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like us guys, we watch you ladies like get on each other, and like the things that you do to each other, like we would never we might punch each other in the face once. But then we're best friends after that. Like y'all be going to like 3 lifetimes.
Well, see, that's the thing. Queens don't do that. Queens don't have to be savage with each other. Queens rise above that. They believe in themselves, and they don't tolerate the pettiness. So those are little girls.
Yeah, good.
Queens rise above.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's another episode that we need to do. Boys and men, girls and queens.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah. That was good, right? Yo, but legit, I think there's a big more awareness, right? And that's a choice, because it's easy. It's easy to get upset. It's easy to be triggered. It's easy to fill in the blank. And to rise above that takes a very human, conscious awareness, a choice, regardless of how much you want to fill in the blank, to stay classy.
Yes. That's a perfect way to say it. Listen, the want to be savage, she's in there. But the choice to be a queen has to be stronger. So.
Yes. And that takes practice. And absolutely. But with hard work, we overcome. Ladies and gentlemen, if we do not have any more questions, the Miss Jeannette Fiallo is an extremely busy woman. I had to beg this woman to get on the podcast because she is just tearing it up. So thank you again. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you. Bachatera boss at her finest right here, live in the flesh. Bada bang, bada boom. Again, guys, go ahead and give Jeannette a shout out. She'll be more than happy to help you out with absolutely anything you need. And Salsa Kings also has your back. Mucho amor, salud, familia, futuro, lo niño y la jama. Mwah! Love you guys. Be good. Cuídense. Bye-bye.
Bye.